Hey guys, welcome back to a new Ark Raiders video. So today we have some brand new information to go off of that was posted in the Ark Raiders Discord server, as well as the official DLSS 4 trailer from Nvidia. So let's get into it. First off, I want to go ahead and show you guys the DLSS 4 trailer, as I believe it really shows how impressively optimized Ark Raiders is. So this short little trailer was posted on the official Nvidia GeForce YouTube channel and shows a quick comparison between the game with DLSS disabled and then switches to the game with DLSS enabled. The part of this that is most impressive to me is that even with DLSS disabled, the game is still running at 120 FPS at 4K with what I believe is max graphics as well. This is downright unheard of for a game running on Unreal Engine 5 and just proves that the team at Embark Studios have mastered the use of this engine and its optimization capabilities. Also, you need to remember that the large majority of players won't even be playing this game at 4K anyway. Most people, to my knowledge, have either 1080p or 1440p monitors, so the game will run even better for those players. I honestly think that Ark Raiders is going to set a new gold standard for game optimization, as this just proves that the engine itself isn't the issue. I will admit, I myself have had doubts about Unreal Engine 5 in the past, as I think that most games that have released on this engine have been plagued with terrible performance across the board, which then leads to horrible image quality, because the only way to run these games at a decent frame rate is by having low settings alongside DLSS cranked to performance mode. Ark Raiders is completely shifting that narrative and proving to the gaming industry that Unreal Engine 5 isn't the problem, and that it is in fact the devs working at these big studios that simply have no idea how to use the engine effectively. Just look at Embark Studios' other project, The Finals. That game also runs on Unreal Engine 5 and runs flawlessly on most hardware, just like Ark Raiders. The Finals also has some really impressive destruction tech that would normally cause huge frame drops in other games, but barely even causes a dent in the performance on the Finals. Anyway, after a couple of seconds, we can see that DLSS is now enabled, giving the player a staggering 400 FPS, dropping into the mid 300s in slightly more intense scenarios. This to me is definitely overkill because I only have a 144Hz monitor. However, just being able to prove that the game can run at this high of a frame rate on Unreal Engine 5 is just mind-boggling to me. As I said, I think that Ark Raiders is going to set a new standard for performance in the gaming industry. I can already see other developers coming to Embark trying to bribe them for tips on how to use Unreal 5. At this point, it's honestly almost like black magic. I mean, Embark are actually becoming one of my favorite development studios just for this alone. Anyway, moving on from that, yesterday we did get a brand new post in the official Ark Raiders Discord server in the FAQ channel. This just goes over multiple points from multiple different topics, and I'm going to cover everything here from top to bottom, starting with questions about pre-orders. So the first question that we have is, I got the standard edition as a gift. Can I upgrade to Deluxe Edition for just $20? And the response to this question is no, we don't have a way for you to upgrade. In order to get the Deluxe Edition with all pre-order bonuses, you'll need to refund the Standard Edition and purchase the Deluxe Edition. You can upgrade to the Deluxe Edition after launch, but that will not include the pre-order bonuses. The next question is, are the pre-order bonuses the same across all platforms? And the simple answer to this one is yes, you will get the same rewards regardless of the platform you purchase on. So whether that be Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation 5 or Xbox, all of the pre-order rewards are the same across the board. The next question is, how long do I have to decide if I want to pre-order? The answer to this one is pre-orders and pre-order bonuses will be available until launch. After launch, you can still purchase or upgrade to the Deluxe Edition of the game, but the pre-order bonuses will no longer be available except via any remaining Nvidia bundles. Next up, we have, will my pre-order bonuses be available during the server slam? And the answer to this one is, hold tight, Raider. Your pre-order bonuses will be ready for you when Ark Raiders launches on October 30th. The second to last question about pre-orders is, if I play Tech Test 2 on Epic and I buy the full game on Steam, will I get the Tech Test 2 reward item / cosmetic? The answer is yes. Any cosmetics from previous tests will be available at launch regardless of platform, as long as you connect to your same Embark ID and have purchased the full game on that platform. And the final question that we have is, if I pre-order the Deluxe Edition on PC and then the Standard Edition on PS5, will the deluxe content transfer when I play on PlayStation 5? Now, this one is quite surprising to me, but the answer is yes, you will get the deluxe content on PS5 as long as you connect to your same Embark ID. Game progression will be shared between both your platforms. So that one I do think is really nice. You don't have to buy the deluxe edition again on another platform just to get the deluxe edition upgrades. Okay, so next up we have some questions regarding cross-platform. So again, I'm going to read all of these from top to bottom. So the first question about cross-platform is, when playing on console, how will it work when crossplay is turned off? Embark responds with crossplay off, you will be matched within your own platform. So with crossplay off on PS5, you will only match against other PS5 players. I mean, that one is quite straightforward. Obviously, if you disable crossplay, you're not going to be able to play with any people from other platforms, so Xbox or PC. The second question is, will console players be able to play with mouse and keyboard? And the answer to this one is no. Mouse and keyboard support for consoles will not be available at launch. Next up, we have, will I need a PS Plus subscription to play on PlayStation 5? Short answer to this one, yes, you need a PS Plus subscription to play at release. The fourth question about cross-platform is, if I have more than one profile on my console and have purchased the deluxe edition, will additional profiles also get the 2,400 currency and deluxe skins? So the answer to this one is a little bit vague. The answer is just skins and currency will be tied to Embark ID. So how I read that is, if you have multiple profiles on a console, as long as the profiles are using the same Embark ID, which is essentially just one account, then the currency and deluxe skins will kind of be shared between each profile, but you won't get additional currency, if that makes sense. So the second to last question is, if I want to play on console and on PC, will I need to purchase the game on both platforms? So the answer for this one is, you will need to purchase on every platform where you want to play, but you'll be able to share progression across all your platforms by connecting your Embark ID. If you purchase on Xbox, we will support Xbox Anywhere, which allows you to play on Xbox console, PC, and supported gaming handhelds at no additional cost. And the final question, which is something that I briefly touched on in the last video, is what about GeForce Now and other cloud gaming solutions? Embark responds to this question with, you can participate in the SLAM test via GeForce Now. However, Arc Raiders will not be available on Shadow PC at launch. So if you don't know what Shadow is, it's basically another cloud gaming solution, but rather than GeForce Now, where you only have access to play games, Shadow PC effectively gives you access to a full desktop. So now we have a bit of extra info about gameplay and also character customization in Arc Raiders. The first question under this category is, will server wipes be confirmed for launch? Embark responds with, currently we do not intend to have regular mandatory server wipes. We have a blog post on the topic coming out very soon that will explain how this will work. So obviously server wipes have been quite a big point of contention around Arc Raiders, so it looks like we're finally going to get some kind of detailed answer about that in an upcoming blog post as well, which I think is really nice. The next question is, will the game allow gyro aim support? I don't even really know what that is, but the answer to this one is no. We don't have plans to support gyro at launch. The next question is, which server locations will be supported? At launch, we'll have servers in Asia, South America, North America, Europe, and Oceania. The final question is, what kind of character customization can I expect? And the answer to this one is, you will be able to create your raider by mixing and matching face styles, hairstyles, and body type. Outfits with a number of colours and toggles will be available, as well as backpacks, backpack attachments, and backpack charms to complete your look. Scrappy, your personal rooster, has some cosmetic options too. Okay, so there we've covered all of the questions that Embark have answered. Finally, we have some updated system requirements, including the specs for Epic settings, as well as a comparison between settings on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro. So the minimum system requirements. First off, we have the operating system, which you need Windows 10 or later, and the 64-bit version of that operating system. Minimum CPU is either an Intel Core i5-6600K or an AMD Ryzen R5-1600. Minimum RAM requirement is 12 gigabytes, and then the minimum GPU requirements is NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, AMD Radeon RX 580, or Intel Arc A380. 1080. The performance targets for the minimum system requirements is low graphics at 1080p 60 FPS. And again, I just think that having system requirements this low for an Unreal Engine 5 game in 2025 is just so impressive. Next up, we have the recommended system requirements. So with the CPU, it will either be the Intel Core i5-9600K or an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. RAM, you'd be looking at 16 gigabytes, and then for the GPU, you can go with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070, the AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT, or the Intel Arc B570. The performance targets for the recommended specs are high graphics settings at 1440p 60 FPS. Next up, we have the requirements for epic settings, and the choice of CPU that you'll need for that is either the Intel i7-9700K or the AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. RAM is the same as recommended at 16 gigabytes, and then the GPU is going to be either the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 Ti or the AM Radeon RX 7900 XTX. Again, the performance targets for these specs are epic graphics settings at 1440p 90 FPS. So, to be honest, the epic settings are more than achievable for a lot of players, and the game is just going to run so smooth regardless of the hardware that you're on. Finally, we have some settings comparisons between the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro. So this doesn't exactly show any performance targets or anything, but on the regular PS5, you can expect high quality with a dynamic resolution range between 720p and 1600p, and then on the PS5 Pro, you can expect epic quality between 720 and 2160p, which is 4K, I think. Is 2160 4K? So there you have it. That's all the info I have for you today. We're just over a week from getting our hands on the Server Slam test. I will also be streaming each day that the test is up, and I might even be multi-streaming on Twitch and Kick. So if you want to tune in for that, I'll leave a link to both my Twitch and Kick profiles in the description. And then I'm also going to be making some videos covering the Server Slam whilst it's available. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and also subscribe to keep up to date with any Arc Raiders news. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.